So you're ready to put your dream pool in your backyard and schedule your first appointment. Well, what do you need for that first appointment and what will we cover? I'm going to break down all the factors that you need to be ready for that first appointment. Hi, I'm Darren Tamborelli, Senior Executive Sales Manager with California Pools and Landscape. I know that you've gone through and selected the pool companies you want to work with, and hopefully you've established an overall budget for the project. Now, let the fun begin. Hopefully at this point, you have a good idea of the options you want, as well as the overall budget for your project. What a designer does is they will meet with you to discuss aesthetics and function. Aesthetics is exactly what you want the overall project to look like. Function is what do you want to be able to do within that backyard. What a good designer does is he takes those two options of aesthetics and function, as well as your budget, and meshes them all together to create one perfect design. So, how do they do that? First, a designer will need to look at your yard. This is where some of those budgetary things we discussed in the previous video come to light. Access, elevations, utilities, demo work, jurisdiction, all of those will help establish what is going to happen to your yard for construction to get started. The second phase is the design or the aesthetic phase. This is really what you want the backyard to look like. You can find inspiration from a lot of different areas: the internet, Pinterest, photo galleries, maybe even a neighbor's house. But really what we want to establish is the overall style of the yard. Now that we've established the design, the function is actually one of the more important aspects. Having a pretty backyard is one thing, but having a yard that looks beautiful as well as functions the way you want is really the key to a good quality design. If you are just looking and focusing on one aspect of the yard, you're really not taking in consideration the yard as a whole. So having a holistic view of the yard and looking at it from all aspects, no matter if it's something that you're going to do now or in the future, is really a key in this process. Something that has a large effect on design and function is safety. If you have young kids and want to put a pool fence in the yard, it is something to consider as it is going to affect all of these elements. Fencing the pool is something you need to consider when you're looking at the yard as a whole, because function and aesthetics will be established by where the fence goes in and how we can create around it. The function of a yard can be affected by many different things. Sun in the sky is an important aspect. If you're somebody that likes the sun or doesn't like the sun, that is a functional element in where you can place certain options in the backyard. From shade structures to lounge chairs to Baja shelves, all those can be affected by something as simple as the sun in the sky. Visuals are very important as well. You might have certain visual aspects from the front door, from the master bedroom, from the kitchen sink that you want to accentuate. Well, the placement of the pool in the backyard is going to be key within that functionality. Sometimes just mixing up the backyard where you have areas that are good for summertime, say it's a Baja shelf and a lounge area, and then maybe you have an area that's closer to the spa with a fire pit that would be more catered to the wintertime. Creating shade is another element where landscaping and good landscape design comes in. If you want to have a shaded area to lounge in or over the grass area, a good design will help accentuate this. The views in your backyard are also an important element for design. If you have an ugly two-story or a street sign or something you don't want to look at and want to cover, you can do that with good placed design in landscape or in shade structures. There's good views that you might want to accentuate. Mountain views, golf courses, or common greenbelt areas can be something that a well-placed design can help. Creating privacy can be another element that you might want to put a focus on within your design. For example, a large two-story with windows, a balcony, or possibly a view fence, all can be remedied with well-placed design elements. Keep in mind, during this initial meeting, a large portion of time will be allocated on educating you as a consumer to all of your options. from construction standards and quality, warranty and service department. There are circulation, filtration, and sanitation options. Then materials such as decking, stone, tile, and interior surface. And lastly, you should talk about planting and your landscape palette. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to design your backyard. There's just pros and cons, and you working hand in hand with a designer to come up with what works best for you. I hope this video was very helpful in preparing you for that first appointment. As you can see, there's a lot of things that go into that initial appointment with your project manager. If you're interested in setting an appointment with California Pools and Landscape, please call our customer concierge at 480-756-7045.